Most under-taught magical concepts of goal setting in today's ThinkShare, Step 3. Hello and welcome to the ThinkShare. My name's Zach. I'm here to bring to you what I've been thinking about, share about, talk about, listening to that doesn't belong in math class. If you're new to the channel, I invite you to subscribe. One of the things that so many people do is they set goals and they don't think about the time. But the beauty of this exercise, as I was doing it myself, was you realize that you can start implementing the Pareto principle. So the Pareto principle is the 80-20 rule. It's saying that 80% of your results come from 20% of your effort. What we can do as we're trying to calculate how many hours or how many days or how much time it's going to take to do some of these different goals, we can start realizing what is the most effective action we can be taking. So the first one, 5,000 subscribers on ThinkShare. And as I was thinking about the hours that it would take, first off, it's a daily video. So one thing I could be doing was taking more time to create better content. That's one way to do it. I could be taking more time to make better thumbnails to get people to click. I could be taking more time to do a bunch of different things. But from a lot of different videos I've been listening to, collaboration is oftentimes the best, highest priority thing. So I'm going to continue making daily videos. I'm going to be building a YouTube network. As you're looking at how much time it's going to take to do things, start thinking about what is the most effective way to use my time in terms of that goal. Hey, real quick, if you're still watching this right now, I want to see if we can get
10 likes on this video.
If you had an hour to cut down a tree, some people would just start sawing away. Some people would sharpen the blade for 50 minutes and then cut it for 10 minutes. Some people say they would spend the 50 minutes going to the hardware store to get a chainsaw and then cut it down. So think about, are you spinning your wheels? Are you taking a ton of actions that are ineffective? Or are you taking effective actions? That's what this part of the exercise is for. So you want to start estimating how many hours it'll take to do things. If you're having trouble estimating, you can change it to the amount of total hours in the year. You could do total hours in a week. You could do the amount of hours it takes per day, the amount of minutes it takes per day. You can change your units, but the idea is to really think about how much time things are going to take. And then we're going to go into prioritization. So I also thought about vertical jump, becoming 28 inches. That would probably be 2 to 3 hours per week for about 3 months. Complete a half marathon. I'm only planning on training that for 6 months. So I'm thinking it'll be at least 3 hours per week for 5 months or so. Some things are going to be very front-ended. It'll take a very short period of time to accomplish things, and then it'll just take some follow-up. So you can start thinking about daily habits in terms of time commitments for these different things. This one that I don't really plan on doing, but if I were to go about it as I was thinking about it, was if I wanted to sell 1,000 audiobooks as it's about to be done on ACX, I think most of my time would be spent creating an email and sending it out to a bunch of people and making phone calls to people I know, inviting and asking them to do it, and or contacting publishers. So if I were going to do that, it probably wouldn't be me going out and trying to sell them hand to hand. It would be figuring out how to get my message out. It would be taking the little extra time to mention it in all of my YouTube videos and putting it in the description of each of them. Owning Tesla stock. That doesn't necessarily take time, it just takes a one-time purchase. However, we've decided we don't want to allocate the money we already have coming in, so the tutoring money that I get for doing tutoring, I'm going to be putting that into Tesla stock. So I estimated the amount of time it would take for me to do all the tutoring I need to do to afford one of the stocks. Some of these you're not necessarily going to be quantifying. You might have to quantify a habit to get there. So for example, converting all of my sugar consumption to 70% dark chocolate, that's going to be saying no to a lot of things. And that'll probably take time doing food prep so that I'm not hungry all the time and craving candy whenever it's around me. So sometimes it's not going to be direct time that you're measuring to accomplish things. It'll be sort of indirect time to avoid doing some things. Another one is posting to iPass weekly. I know I've left a lot of a bit confused with what to expect around that. Sometimes the amount of time you're going to spend on certain goals will just be the setup time of making it simple. So if I were to do it the way I've been doing it, it would take multiple hours. It would probably take over 10 hours per week to put all the things into iPass. However, if I set up systems like a seating chart and then putting in alphanumeric codes into it so that I can rearrange it in the Excel file and then just plug the numbers in instead of looking at the names, that'll probably take off 2, 3, 4 hours of me just sorting through names trying to figure out which one to click. My students out there that are planning on handing this in, I will not be accepting your goal sheet unless you have actual answers for those. You gotta have numbers for those. That's important. If you are interested in making these things happen, you need numbers. Goal setting, so many people have just turned it into bucket list creating and dreaming. And this is where it hits reality. Numbers with your goals make it reality. Tomorrow we'll be talking about narrowing it down to a top 3 so that we can achieve those in the first 90 days. Hope this is useful to my students out there. Thank you for watching. If you like this and you want more, hit the subscribe button. If you want to receive notifications every day, come up with something new, hit the bell. I look forward when the ball drops. I'm going to also be dropping my Gucci Gang parody remix. I look forward to the feedback I got and it was a lot of fun. Thank you for watching. Stay weird, humans.